dreamers gone? Or have we all just gotten lazy? Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above. And if I gotta choose, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. Ooh, something strange is in the air. Seems that everybody's changing, and I can't find no faith anywhere. Seems it's been replaced with raging. Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above. And if I gotta choose, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. No one can take that from me. I see what I choose to see. Reality is what you make it. So why would I ever choose hatred? I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. And no one can take that away. I choose love.
What's going on? What's going on, people? As you see, what's on the screen? Did Ice Cube sell out for going to meet with Trump? I want to know what you guys think today. You know, I put the post up on Facebook, and I was like, yo, so many people have an opinion on did Ice Cube, did he sell out? I done seen on social media that Ice Cube should be canceled. All because he went to go meet with Trump. I want to know what do you guys think? So we're going to be taking callers for the show. The calling number is 347-464-2880. I'm going to get my first caller on the phone. Let me set this up real quick. Got to get the first caller on the phone. Let me see what's going on here. While I'm setting this up, I need you guys to share out the show. This is an important conversation that we should have. Did Ice Cube sell out for going to meet with Trump? Share out the show. I'm going to be paying attention heavy to what you guys are saying on YouTube, what you guys are saying on Twitter, and what you guys are saying on Facebook. Did Cube sell out? Mr. NWA himself, did he sell out? Let me see. Let me get the first call on the phone. Give me 1 second. Let me dial this number real quick. Oh man. Okay. Like I said, while I'm doing this, I need you guys to share out the show. Let's see what's going on here.
Hello.
What's going on, Dre, man? You our first caller for today. What's going on? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, bro?
Now I see This is a big topic of what's going on today, these past couple of days, I think past 2-3 days. And it's revolving, of course, we talking about Ice Cube and Trump. You know, I have a lot of people saying that Trump, Ice Cube sold out. He should be canceled. He can't be trusted. He don't represent the black voice. And then you have some people saying that he did the right thing. I want to know, where do you stand on this topic?
I believe that Ice Cube did the right thing. I think too many times us as a people, we get caught in our feelings and our emotions instead of looking at the bigger picture. Take for instance, when you're talking about the different countries of the world, we see Trump on TV every day blaming China for COVID, talking ill of China with trade wars and everything, tariffs, but yet we still trade with China. And I think a lot of times our people don't understand how politics and business work. You know, people every day go to work and work with people that they don't particularly like, but they got to come together for the common good of getting the job done. So if you can sit down with somebody that many in our community think is a enemy and get something done for us, then I don't see no problem with that.
Hold on one second, Dre. Let me get this other call on. Hold on.
Call from
David.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Yes, caller. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Who's this? Who's calling in today?
David.
David who? David, where you from?
David.
Where?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn? All right,
Yeah,
let me ask you the question. Did Ice Cube sell out for meeting with Trump?
Nah, I personally believe he did.
Say that again?
I don't think he sold out.
Okay, you don't think he sold out. Why you don't think he sold out?
Nah. Due to the fact, sometimes you have to, get into relationships with your enemy to make everything much better and flow and get to a neutral part. And yeah, we might all hate Trump. We all might have our certain ways we feel, but at the end of the day, we all need to come to a middle line, even though it's somebody with dislike. Same thing at work. We might like somebody, not like somebody, but at the end of the day, communication is key.
So basically, Cube shouldn't be canceled, is what we saying here.
I personally believe not, man. I can understand where he's coming from at the end of the day. And yeah, I don't think Cube should be canceled at all. I know people are going to be mad, but at the end of the day, we have to put our feelings on the side.
Why you think they should be? Why you think they will be mad that Cube went to go sit down with Trump?
The whole thing is, all right, if we really look at the big picture, we all see that Trump has that in his blood. We know he has the hate in his blood. We know he never wants to recognize the Proud Boys or anybody who has that white supremacy movement going on. He never wants to criminalize them. And we've seen it at debates, we've seen them on media, and he's showing it up. But at the end of the day, if Cube wants to go there and try to do something, even one of my favorite MMA fighters is actually supporting this whole Trump movement, which I don't understand. It's kind of mind-boggling. You probably, do you watch UFC?
No, I don't watch UFC, but I know who you talking about though, because that's the guy who beat the black guy and just recently.
George, I'm talking about BMF. Damn, Masvidal, George.
I don't know his name, but you could continue. I don't know his name.
Yeah. So he became a Trump supporter, and I'm like, oh no, you're talking about Kobe Covington. He's a troll. Yeah, that he technically didn't beat Tyrone Woodley. Tyrone Woodley just happened to have an injury on his rib. So by default, I think that was a fair win.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
All right. So Dre, you basically in agreement with that, right?
With what?
Oh, definitely. With supporting what Ice Cube did, I think it's important for us to remember that um, our issues in our community is bipartisan. Um, these are issues that it's not about whether you support a Democrat or Republican. It's who's going to best do the job to help our community. We look at different other communities within New York City and other places. They don't vote based on what party. They vote based on the best interest of their community. And I think that's where we are lacking in our community. We need to start holding the people that we put in office accountable. And sometimes that means going to the other side and negotiating with the other side to get things done. So I have no problem with what Ice Cube did. I think a lot of people in our community don't have a problem with it, but I think there's also a stigma that sitting down with our enemies, in this case, Trump, is somehow equivalent of you supporting everything that Trump does, and that's not the case at all.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Is do you think the Democratic Party should have our vote because we hate Trump so much?
No, I don't. I think that for the last 50 plus years, if you look at the voting history of us for the last 50 years, we've pretty much given our vote almost 100% to one political party, which is the Democratic Party. And a lot of times, over that time, rather, we had gotten little to nothing out of it. So they're in a position to take our vote for granted now. And it's the equivalent. I made this analysis earlier, obviously on your page. If you're investing in a stock, you're not going to put all your life savings into one stock, because if that stock goes up, you lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the way to make money is to diversify your stocks over different platforms, different stocks. And I think we need to apply that to the way that we vote. If we keep putting our vote in the Democratic arm, and they don't do what we want them or we expect that they should do, how often can we say we could turn to the Republican Party, because we have not been doing that. We have not been diversifying our vote and giving our vote to them. So they don't have any obligation to do anything for our community, because they don't expect to get our vote to begin with. And I think Trump, for all his shortcomings, has in many ways tried to reach out to our community. But I think that our community has a sickness of being addicted to voting Democrat instead of diversifying the vote.
And Mike, you agree with that? I don't know if the other caller.
Yeah.
You agree with that? All right, cool. Mike, thanks for calling in. I got to take some more calls. Dre, you hold on, because I'm going to get someone on the phone who don't have an opinion like yours. Hold on 1 second. All right, Mike, thanks for calling in.
All right, man. Thanks.
Hold on, let me get but I agree with you saying, like, why does the Democratic Party should automatically have our vote when we don't get anything for them? I think that by Cube actually going to sit with Trump, it will open up the Democratic Party eyes to say, wait, hold up. These people are awakening up, right? What you think, Dre?
Oh, I agree with that. I think there's a lot of people in our community that feels the same way. I think there's just not too many people willing to come forward and say they feel that way. Just think about, we as a people have come a long way in this country. We fought for voter rights and civil rights. One of the main things with voting rights is being able to express who we support and who we want the candidate to be. But yet, when somebody places opinion that's not in the popular opinion online, they get called a race traitor, a coon, some of the same things that people are saying about Ice Cube. If your ultimate goal is to help the people in your community, then you're going to do that the best way that you can. And if that means talking to the other side, then I don't see any problem with talking to the other side. But I think a lot of people actually do feel that way. A lot of people just are not as boisterous because they don't want to be labeled. They don't want to be called, all kind of names. And I mean, we see it every day online, and some people just choose not to want to deal with that.
I agree. And the thing with, I mean, why not? At what point do we not sit down with the people who don't like us? I thought that was the point of communication, to get of understanding of one another, and how do you feel about Kim K and Kanye going to Trump? Do you think that they are sellouts, or there's a difference between what they're doing and what Cube is doing?
I think at the end of the day, if they're able to have a direct line to Trump and get things done, in the good of our people and our communities, then I have no problem with that. I take, for instance, social justice reform is a big topic in our community. If you look at it, I remember when Meek Mill was going through his situation, and I remember Trump reaching out to Meek Mill, but I also remember Jay-Z telling Meek Mill not to meet with Trump. How does that help? Trump is the president of the United States right now. So if the president is willing to reach out and hear you, how do you say no? You can't then go back to the community and say, well, Trump is a racist and he's this and that. But if he's reaching out to you directly.
Yeah. Dre, hold on. I think this is our other caller. Hold on 1 second.
Call from
Ronnie.
To accept, press 1. To send.
Ronnie is in the building. What's good, my brother? Long time no speak, man.
What's going on, my brother?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Let me merge these calls, man. Look, let the people know. Tell the people your name, where you calling from, and why the reason you're calling it.
Hi, man. I'm Ronnie, man. Better known as Hard Ronnie. I call from Houston, and let's talk about this whole Ice Cube thing, man. And I think what a lot of people are kind of misconstruing.
Yeah. Look, Ronnie, I know him by Herc. We go way back we've been doing this internet thing for a very long time. Long time. Before y'all was a long time. But very intelligent guy. He's calling from Houston, Texas. And he has a perspective of, I don't gotta say what his perspective is. He's gonna say what it is. And Dre, you still there, right, Dre?
Yeah, no doubt.
This is going to be an interesting conversation. So I want to know from you, Ronnie, did Ice Cube sell out for meeting with Trump?
I don't think that Ice Cube sold out, because I think that having a seat at the table is important. You can't complain about the system if you're not willing to participate in the system. So I get that part. I think that Ice Cube was misguided. Okay. And I think he was misguided because he didn't use his leverage. Your leverage was 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Your leverage was 2 years ago when, Trump would have had to prove something before now. But see, now he's up against it. The election is weeks away. So now Trump is stalling, like, listen, do this for me. Bring the black vote to me, and I got you when I get, reelected. But then once he gets reelected, he could pat his pockets like a dude that owe you money and be like, I ain't got it. And then Ice Cube come away and he'll be like, well, you know what? I tried. But see, you wasted your leverage.
Bro, I'm laughing.
You should have did that 2 years ago.
I'm laughing right now because I don't know you for being a conspiracy theorist, bro. That sounds like a conspiracy. It sounds like a conspiracy, man.
No. But listen, not even a conspiracy theory. Listen. I'm not saying. Hey, I'm not saying they sat around and concocted this story. What I'm saying is that listen, like Cube could absolutely be really genuine in the situation. He could be very genuine about it. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is that you're not coming from a place of leverage, because if I tell you I got you after you get me, once you get me, I really don't have to follow through.
Because now I'm the president again.
All right.
You know, now I can just start you out.
So let me ask you this. What's the difference between Cube going to, let me add this other caller in before I ask you this question. Hold on one second. This is going to get real interesting in a second.
Call from
Hold on.
You're smart.
Hello, Smarts?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
All right, hold on. I got to add you on the call with everybody else. Nobody else calling. We got 3 callers on the phone. This is going to get a little bit interesting. But Herc, I want to ask you, wait, Smarts, first of all, where you calling from? Let the people know your name and where you calling from before I get into this.
What's up, people? I'm calling from Jersey.
All right, so we got Jersey.
All right.
We got Brooklyn, and we got Houston, Texas in the building. So, Herc, let me ask you this. What's the difference between Cube going to sit down with Trump and Cube going to sit down with Biden? Because really, once a president get in, they can ignore you after that. So what's the difference between them going to sit down with Trump versus Biden?
Nothing. And listen, and that's the reason why I have no problem with it. But now we can go back and look at Trump's track record. Listen, Trump basically can pull the same con that he pulled on them racist white folks when he told them that he was going to build a wall and tell them that Mexico was going to pay for it. So we've seen him pull this. We've seen him, you know, use the whole, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And then, listen, he ain't changed healthcare. He told some people he was going to repeal and replace Obamacare. He told some people he was going to build a wall. Mexico was going to pay for it. Like, he told him he was going to do all that stuff. And guess what? He ain't do none of it. But it don't matter now because he's president. It don't matter because he got what he needed.
Smarts and Dre, y'all could jump in. Y'all could jump in whenever y'all want. Smarts and Dre, y'all could jump in whenever y'all want.
Well, I've been watching it live, and I kind of just wanted to back it up a little bit and go to where you asked it.
Hey, hold on, wait, hold on. Before we do that, do you disagree with what Ronnie had to say, or do you agree with what he just said?
No, I don't disagree with that at all.
Okay,
I mean, I agree with that 100%. I think that makes perfect sense. I mean, that's campaigning, like that's political campaign. One-on-one. I mean, we see it happen over and over and over every 4 years. Every party, every administration does that. So, from my understanding, Ice Cube put out the contract with Black America, and the campaigns approached him. And the only reason why we know about it is because the Trump campaign put it out there and politicized it. So Ice Cube didn't go out and say, "Hey, y'all, I'm talking to these people for y'all." He didn't do that. So no, he didn't play himself or sell himself out. The Trump campaign politicized him. They used him.
That's interesting.
That's the point.
If I could chime in. If I could chime in, I just want to go back to the whole situation that happened with that. I read that, you know, Ice Cube and his words that he went to the Biden team first. And he walked away from that meeting with the Biden team thinking that there was nothing going to be done. And after that, that's when he was approached by the Trump team and he had the secret meetings with the Trump team. Now, according to Ice Cube, the Biden team basically told him that they'll be able to talk more after he gets elected. So going back to what you were saying, brother, about, you know, feeling that Trump is just using them to, you know, to try to get elected. Why wasn't this done a while ago? I mean, look at what Biden is saying. Biden is telling him wait till after he get elected. I mean, do you really think that Biden is going to keep his word after he gets elected?
I think that's a better approach than that.
It is, yeah. Right.
Well, here's the thing. How long has our people been waiting for Democrats and waiting to after they get elected? You know what I'm saying? If they were actually doing their jobs, right?
That's a different
If they were actually doing their jobs, though, you know.
That's a different point. That's a valid point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a valid point.
Super valid.
Most policy, Ice Cube went into this on policy. Not politics, not political campaign. He went in there to talk policy. Most policy gets done within the first 2 years of administration. So if Biden is telling him we'll talk about it after I win, it's actually a better approach because that's when if you get control of the Senate, if you get control of Congress, you can actually do it. You can actually have that conversation. But it doesn't make sense to announce something like that just to get the black vote if you don't really intend on doing it. So the Trump that's their MO. That's their MO.
Right.
That's what they do.
And to be honest with you, I actually respect the Biden campaign a little bit more because they didn't politicize it. They actually could have came out and made it seem like Q was endorsing them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
but hold up,
because they actually have a play.
Okay.
Hold up real quick because
so
we can't act like Biden they didn't sit with an entertainer. They did a whole thing with Cardi B. So it's not like
that was more of a.
But they not announcing Ice Cube. Ice Cube is the one with the policy. Ice Cube is the one with the contract with Black America, not Cardi B. And the Biden campaign did not go out and say, "Yo, we working with Ice Cube on a plan for Black people." They didn't do that. He was forced to come out and say, "I talked to both campaigns." He wasn't going out there holding that flag up, talking about he's talking to the campaign. The Trump
and you know what?
made the announcement, and then he had to come out and say he talked to both campaigns because he didn't want to look like he was endorsing the Trump campaign.
Right, and let me go back to what my brother was talking about when he was saying about the Democratic Party, because that's something that I really want to touch on, and I actually touched on earlier on my page, man. I was thinking about it yesterday because
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay. So there's this narrative, right, that both of the parties are the same, right? Both of the parties are the same, and they're just one and the same, and nothing is different about it. And I feel like we have some very short memories. I think we need to sometimes go back and talk to our mothers and our grandmothers and all that, because there are two parties, all right? And the fact that we can even walk into a restaurant and not have to use a separate entrance means that one party helped push legislation to make that happen, and another party fought against it. The fact that people are having this conversation, that brothers can have this conversation in the front of a train or the front of a bus, the irony gets lost on them that the only reason why you're even able to have that conversation on the front of a bus is because one political party fought civil rights and the other party fought that. So to have this just general consensus that they just vote the same, historically, it's just not right. It's just not right. Now listen, obviously, the fact that I even have to bring up stuff from the 60s shows that, hey, has it been consistent? No. But if I look at history and I say, okay, this century, which political party has tried to help my people more? I can't say they vote the same. And the problem I have with people who just come out and just slander the Democratic Party, and just to make this point, I'm not Democratic. I'm progressive. I'm a Bernie guy personally. I want to blow the shit up. I'm a Bernie. I want to blow. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a Bernie. Let's blow this shit up or a revolution type shit. But if I have to pick the lesser of two evils, I would rather go with a party that has shown a little more love towards my people. Because we rather say, well, the Democrats ain't getting enforced, and then I ask them, since the Emancipation Proclamation, what have Republicans done?
Okay, so I wanna answer like everything you pretty much said. First, with the policy being done within the first 2 years, we've seen this playbook already from the Democratic side, right? When Obama got in office, the first 2 years he had a filibuster-proof majority in the Congress. What agenda got done for our people? See, we forget that. And we had a black president. You know, okay, so I just want to touch on that. That's why I don't agree with necessarily what you said about, beforehand. So I just want to put that out there. Now, as far as
the point, I'm sorry. The point that I was trying to make was, okay, go ahead. I just go back to the point that I was trying to make. Go ahead, bro. My bad. All right. Go ahead.
So, and the next thing, as far as like when you're talking about history and our ancestors and the Democratic Party, well, I remember history too. I have elderly people, elders in my family who remember too. They also remember that prior to the '60s in this country, black folks were conservative and voted Republican. In fact, it wasn't until LBJ came in with the New Deal, not the New Deal, came in with the social justice issues, civil rights issues. One of them being social programs. Now, you look at the history of social programs. We all know how social programs have ravaged our communities. When you're talking about the welfare system, the food stamp system, you talk about Planned Parenthood, all of those kind of things. Part of their agenda at the time was to give black folks things, uppity at black folks. There's quotes from LBJ saying this stuff, so that we would get in line with voting Democratic. Now, when you talking about the history of the Democratic Party, the KKK started from the Democratic Party. In fact, the Democratic Party was founded on keeping slavery in place. So I think it's very important that if you're going to talk about history, you got to talk about the whole history.
Okay, but what I'm talking about
the geography on those parties changed over time.
It's so sad. See, because you said all that.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
The Civil Rights Act.
Listen, I just need y'all to speak one at a time. One at a time.
Because when you were saying that, I noticed that you kind of glazed over Dixiecrats. You didn't even mention that. Like you didn't mention that now. Like yeah. Like listen, we all know that the Democratic Party was basically what the Republican Party is now. Because those members, they switched over. Like we can't just gloss over. You know what I'm saying? Like that really changed the landscape of the Democratic and the Republican Party, the Dixiecrats. So
what happened was when LBJ signed the Civil Rights Act, those Democratic states left the Democratic Party and went to the Republican Party.
Exactly. Right.
That's a different conversation.
Right.
But the point that I'm just going to go back to the point I was trying to tell him was most policy gets done in the first 2 years. So for the Biden campaign to tell Ice Cube, let's talk about it after we get elected, is better than going out there switching up a plan, highlighting your plan to get black votes because you were silent on Charlottesville. You silent on Proud Boys. All this stuff, you in trouble. So you're going to switch up some words in your plan to match what Ice Cube is doing and then give him a shout out on Twitter.
Right.
Come on. And for the man to come out afterwards and say, nah, I talked to both parties. Come on.
But do y'all trust?
I guarantee you, if Trump told Ice Cube, we'll talk about it after the election, it would be the same thing that you're saying about Trump now.
We would have never knew about it, bro. We would have never knew about it. Trump is the one that made the announcement. We would have never known that happened. Ice Cube didn't announce this. The Biden campaign did not announce this.
And you know what? And that's the reason why
we would have never known. We would have never.
And that's the reason why I feel sorry.
We getting caught up in petty narratives. To me, it doesn't matter if it's announced or not. It's about taking care of the action. Okay, we getting caught up in okay, he said it, he shouldn't have publicized it, this, that, and all that. It's about getting things done. I'm about to
ask what do we think?
You know what I'm saying?
You just said what would we think if Donald Trump would have told Ice Cube, let's wait till after I get elected. We would have never known the conversation even happened.
Well, let me ask y'all this though.
You're making an assumption because that wasn't the reality of the situation. You're making an assumption.
That is the reality. Go back and look at it.
You basing it on what you think Trump would have said or wouldn't say. That's not reality.
Let me ask y'all a question. Right. How come the Biden camp, and I want everyone to answer this, How come the Biden camp didn't tell the LGBT or the trans community to wait? When they asked Biden something specifically yesterday about some type of law, he said he would change the law tomorrow. Why do black people have to wait until they get elected, allegedly, to have these conversations of what our plan is when everyone else's plan is put on the forefront?
Okay, the difference. Okay.
That I was gonna make next.
Okay. The difference is that they came and they wanted some legislation change, right? They wanted one rule. They wanted one thing changed. The plan that IQ came with, it is an absolute overhaul. I mean, it's in the billions of dollars. So it's easier to answer one question than it is to answer another question. Because when you're talking about something that costs over almost $500 million, as opposed to something that, hey, this particular legislation, those are two different things. That's like saying, hey, a dude want to borrow your car, and another dude say, hey, can I have your car?
No, but bruh.
You can borrow it, but you can't have it.
No, but we have every right to ask for the money. This country was built off of free labor, our labor. So we have every right. But let's not act like the LGBT community just came with one thing. Wasn't Obama the ones who made it legal for them to get married? I mean, I believe.
But that's what.
I don't think that they came to the table. I don't think they came to the table with one thing, bro. I don't think that.
No, listen. Because sometimes, a lot of times, we try to make one group. We try to make one group like this boogeyman, and like I've never understood this whole fight between black folks and the LGBT community. All the people want to do was get married, and if they get beat up. Can it be if they get beat up on the premise of they get beat up or harmed or killed on the premise of their sexuality, that it be a hate crime? Then they ain't asked for nothing else, dog. Like they haven't asked for nothing. Like, and I be like, what are these people? Like, what are people talking about? They just want to get married. They don't want nothing extra. They just want to equal. Can I get married? If my husband gets in an accident, can I come see him and be his power of attorney? And I can't do that unless I'm married to him. They just wanted to be married, and they wanted certain protections. They wanted certain protections to be like, hey, if this guy beats me up or kills me because of my sexuality, that means he did it out of hate. So can it be charged as a hate crime?
But bro, we've been asking. Hold on. We've been asking for years that if the police shoot us in our back, they should be charged with murder. This is something that they can address right now. That's what I'm saying. That don't even have to be on our plan. There should be things that they should do just because.
I got one answer. I got one answer for you, and I've been saying this privately to my friends for years now. Even and this applies to Obama. He's black, and I don't take nothing away from him. He's a very inspirational figure, the whole 9 yards. But the fabric of this country has been sidestepping the American slaves still. So when you go down to the grain, and you go to the basis of it, we can get black leadership, we can get a lot of people, but when you talk about the White House, an American slave has not ascended to the White House yet. So I don't think those issues are really going to be settled until that happens, bro.
All right, now
I don't think it's going to be settled. I don't think it's going to be settled until.
Ronnie, I want to go back to your point because you said the LGBT community only want two things. I just Googled what they want. They want like you said, they want violence. They want the violence part. You was right about that. They want parenting. They want the parenting thing. They want the same sex kids and all that. Whatever was going on with that. They want gay conversion therapy. They want employment discrimination. They want housing discrimination. They want bathrooms, schools, and other public accommodations. They want unequal health care.
But these all fall under one thing, bro. Like, so all those things, so what you're doing is you're naming a bunch of bullet points, but they all under the thing. Don't discriminate against us. That means whether it be housing, this or this or this, what they're saying is they just don't want to be discriminated against.
Bro, that's the same thing we want. Don't discriminate against us.
But we have, listen, bro. Like we have that. Like what it sounds like you're saying is that that you don't think that the judges will walk the two at the same time. And it's like if they get their stuff, that we not gonna get ours. Like there are hate crime laws in the books.
Yes, but
like, what are we saying? Like,
no, what they want is the same thing that we want. Essentially, they want something specifically for them because they are covered under the Civil Rights Act. People think that civil rights means they automatically associate that with black people. All civil rights consist of you can't discriminate on someone whether it's their race, religion, creed, sexual orientation, no matter what it is, right? That's what civil rights is. They saying no, civil rights isn't good enough. We want this for us. We are gay. We are LGBT. We are saying essentially the same thing. Yes, civil rights is in place for us also, but it's not working. We want something specifically in place for us. So what the LGBT community is saying is essentially what black people are saying. The same.
No, but it goes back.
It goes back to what?
Go ahead. No, it goes back to the analogy I just made. One person wants to borrow a car. Another person wants to have the car. So if they want, let's take one of your points. Conversion therapy, right? Conversion therapy could be settled in a piece of legislation, right? That is not easy. I mean, that's easy compared to something like reparations. Okay, who is an actual descendant of slaves? Who is this? Like that's a lot. That's a lot harder to figure out.
No, I get that. I get that. That's the most reparations is very. It's not extreme, but it's complicated, right? There's if they give us it's complicated. But employment discrimination isn't. Housing, we still being discriminated in housing. And like most of the stuff, it can be figured out. But all right, let's take reparations out of it. Let's take reparations out of it.
Okay.
Right? Take reparations out of it. That's a complex issue, very complex, right? The same thing they want, like I said, employment discrimination, housing discrimination.
We have that too. You can't discriminate against somebody because they're black. But the problem is that you can't prove it. So that's what we need to figure out.
How can you prove you're getting discriminated on because you gay? How can you prove that?
Same thing. No, that's what I'm saying. Same thing on that side. What you're saying is that you're saying almost like they have some kind of special civil rights mechanism for them that's not for us, and that's just not true.
No, that's not what he's asking.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
How come the Biden campaign would talk to them right now, but won't talk to us till after the election?
Because
we asking for the same thing.
Yeah, we are asking for the same thing.
But listen. If they are asking for stuff like we don't want to get discriminated against when it comes to housing, we don't want to get discriminated against when it comes to employment, we have those already.
And it goes for them
right
too.
Now,
it goes for them too. They have that right now too. If you look up what a civil rights law is, they are covered. Sexual orientation, gender, they are covered.
I'll tell you what I think. This is what I feel. I think the difference is that they not only do they have the ability to organize, but they have the economics and funding behind it to be heard from a politician like Biden. Where you talk about our community, they know they can just give us lip service, and they know next voting cycle they're gonna have our vote again. I mean, and this is the word that I've been making the whole time.
You're right, and one thing,
diversifying our vote.
One thing the LGBT,
bro. Let me just finish real quick, bro.
I got.
And also, I think we shouldn't. I think too often we try to mix social justice issues in with the LGBTQ community. They have specific things that they want, but among people I talk to, this is something that we all kind of agree with. I was born black. I can't say that I was born black. Your personal sexual preference is your business. We only know if you allow the world to know if you tell somebody. So there's a big difference here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that.
You know, for one, I think we kind of veered off a little bit because now it's like now we're playing the victim Olympics. You know what I'm saying? It's like now we're saying, you know, who hurt more? The biggest problem is that we have in our they are very, somebody said it on here, but they was like, they are very well organized and they are very passionate when it comes to this. Us, we literally have black people. We literally have black people out here right now who are literally trying to deter other black folks from not voting. So let's say if I run the system, right? Let's say I run the system and 100% or let's say 80% of these people over here, they are involved. And 70% of people over here, they are involved. But only 30% of people over here are, you know what I'm saying, are involved. Yeah, you're right. I'm definitely gonna go to where, you know, my administration is more affected. If we start galvanizing each other and stop with this, man, it doesn't matter what's the point of voting anyway. Guess what? That's exactly how they gonna look at you. Well, then what's the point of it anyway? What's the point anyway? If half of y'all not even, look, if 2/3 of y'all not even voting anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like 2/3 of y'all not even voting anyway. Listen, they came up with a special the other day, and they literally showed with Cambridge Analytica how they literally showed where the Trump campaign targeted black people, but not to make them Trump supporters. To find out they're just not to vote because they know that not voting gets Trump elected. So they don't care if you become a Republican. They don't care if you become Trump supporters. They just don't want you to vote. They don't want you involved. The longer you feel disenfranchised, the longer you feel, you know, the longer we running around here talking about Buck 12, guess what? The more dudes are growing up and deciding, well, I don't want to be a cop. Because now you vilify the cop so much that now brothers don't want to become cops. When you really could get in the system and you can try to change things from within. I saw a video of a white guy, of a white man, of a white police officer, and he was pretty much just making for no reason for protesters. And I couldn't believe it was a black woman, a black police officer, who came and pulled him away and checked him. That's the kind of stuff we need. But no, we keep telling everybody, no, fuck 12. No, not fuck 12. Become 12.
Yeah.
Change it. You can't change it if you can't change the system that you're not even willing to participate in, bro.
I agree with that. But I think that people are saying out of frustration or speaking wrong, because sometimes I do it too. When I say, you know, don't vote, what I really mean is don't give away our vote for anything. You know, we've been duped. Oh, wow. We've been duped for years, right? And a lot of people who's talking about, yo, like if I say I'm not voting, oh, you ain't voting, you gonna give Trump the vote. Those same people that's saying that, you could go through their timeline the past decade, right? The past decade, they have not participated in no other vote besides the presidential election. They don't know the importance of Congress. They don't know the importance of their assembly members. They don't know the importance of their city council. Those people control your day-to-day lives. People want to know, well, why is gentrification happening? Why I can't afford the rent in my neighborhood? It's not because of the president. It's because of your assembly people and your city council. They are accepting these people to build these condos in our communities and then offer us 10 apartments, which it's going to be a tax write-off for them anyway. It's not going to cost them anything. They're going to get it back because they participate in the program, right? Those are the people who affect our lives day to day, who affect our rent, who affect our groceries. Why all these gentrified coffee shops is popping up in the neighborhood, and these people is from Dakota and Montana and from all these other places. It's not because of the president. So us as black people.
But not fix it. But you're not going to fix that though. But you're not going to fix that by saying don't vote.
I mean,
you're not fixing that by saying don't participate.
But you're not correcting it either by voting. If only participating in the presidential elections, you're doing yourself a disservice. I'd rather someone say,
You are.
look, I'd rather someone say,
You gotta vote locally.
yeah, I'd rather someone say, you have to. I would rather someone say, I vote assembly and city council. I don't vote presidential. It shows you that they're aware of what's going on in their community. But if you're doing it backwards, if you only participating in presidential elections and not participating in anything else, your vote essentially means nothing. Because really,
listen, I understand. I understand, but what I'm saying is that we need to get our people who don't vote, our people who are the most disenfranchised. We need to get our people to vote, and if it's even just in a presidential election, get our people in the mode, in the routine of go out there and vote. Listen, we can start breaking it down a little bit later on because people say, "Oh well, as a president, it don't matter." Listen, when he put on 158 federal judges, yeah, dude, it matters, bro. It matters. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the time to nitpick and break it down. Listen, we understand. Everybody's not going to sit on the phone like us and really, really, really unpack this. All right? You know, like they're not, okay? Simplify it. Hey, man, vote. It's only because our elders went through hell to vote. It's not good for that. It's anything. Just do it for that. Like, look, have a sense of fucking pride. It's like it's anything. But to sit there and say, nah, I ain't participating, but got every complaint in the world.
Right. Right. The conversation should be vote in the presidential election, but also remember these are the important elections that affect your day-to-day life. I agree. I agree. I agree. Yeah. We shouldn't say don't vote.
I agree with that.
Because then people like they see one way, they got tunnel vision. You hear don't vote, they think that applies to everything. So our conversation to our people should be, listen, vote in this presidential election, but also pay attention to this. But there you go. But this,
I would even argue.
But this is the issue, though, right?
No, I was going to say I would even argue that. I'm talking over you.
This is the issue, right? We having this conversation now. I didn't figure this out throughout my whole passage in the public education system, right? Because one thing they don't teach us is politics. They don't teach us taxes.
Nope.
They don't teach us none of that. So what presidential candidate is even trying to change that? Where that could be our curriculum, a part of our curriculum.
Yeah.
You know, us learning calculus and algebra, that's cool. That's not important. Right. They left out the most important stuff for us in life.
Political science should not be a college course.
Yeah. Ahead, Drake.
Many of the things that we are protesting and many of the things that we're protesting for, the power is on a local level to change it. You know, when you talk about the way the police our communities and brutality, I mean, I think back to Eric Garner. We had, Cuomo was governor, de Blasio was mayor when Eric Garner took place, and they had the ability to do something about it. And, for what it's worth, it took 5 years for them to even get rid of that police officer. You know what I'm saying? And these are people that our community gave their vote to. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But here's the thing. I think sometimes we get so caught up. Like, sometimes we act like these, like, jilted lovers to where, like, we gave you all our love, but look what you did to me 10 years ago. Like, listen to me. Like, right now, we have never, and I mean never, had the political capital that we have right now. Like, right now, the leverage that we have, but listen, we have every white politician around yelling Black Lives Matter. Like, we've never had this political capital. And where we can literally get together, where I'm talking about whether it's NBA, NFL, whatever. If we can galvanize our people and say, listen, they didn't listen before. I get it. I know you mad. They didn't listen before. But we ain't never had an ear like this. Never. Let's do it. Let's strike right now.
Bro, that's
you know what I'm
saying? We got 50 years of work for voting for one party.
Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said, though? You understand? You're doing that thing.
Bro, you're talking over me. You know, be respectful. I'm letting you talk. Let me talk when I talk, please. Here's the thing. We had a problem with trying to brush everything under the rug and saying, okay, well, they didn't do that before, but okay, but they might do it this time. Bro, we got a track history here of the way that we vote in our community. So at the end of the day, we should have been had that political capital. You know what I'm saying? You talking like now, like, oh, well, now we like a jilted lover, and we feel like because we did this, well, we kept doing it. We keep giving our vote to one particular party. Shouldn't we expect more? Shouldn't we have gotten more?
I want you to answer that.
You done? Okay, so again, and this is the reason why I keep saying that. I literally just told you that at this point, at least in my lifetime, I'm 43. I don't know how old you are, brother, but I'm 43. And I've seen everything, whether it's the riots and for Roger King, and I've seen protests, I've seen riots, but I've never, at least in my lifetime, I've never seen black people have the ear and the mind of the public like this. Never. Listen, yeah, they'll get on TV and they were talking for and they be like, wow, that's so sad what happened to this person and that person and this person and Eric Dawn and this person. But never. And I don't know if it was just like literally watching the life leave George Floyd's body. I don't know what it was. But something happened. This is different. And you can't see it because you're too caught up in, but man, I've been doing that. That's like saying I done went to 10 places to apply for a job. Ain't nobody gonna hire me. Go to the 11th, go to the 12th, go to the 13th, or are you gonna sit there and complain about the last 10 you went to? Like, this is what we do. Like, we talk about wait, let me finish. No, I'm not saying.
Wait, hold on, Jay. Jay, let him finish.
I'm not saying you in particular. I'm talking about us as a people. Like, we get too caught up in that. We get too caught up in what happened last year. Listen, let's talk about now. Let's move forward now. But if we keep on saying, nah, because listen, and I bet that this has just been in our history. Well, listen, every race has their pessimists. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure when the word got back that, hey, you know what, there's a dude named Abraham Lincoln, you know what I'm saying, back to free us. I'm sure somebody else would say, man, we've been playing on here. Like, it was always somebody. And again, not you personally, but I get it. If you ain't showing me nothing, I can't believe you. I can't trust you. I can't, and I get that, my brother. But what I'm saying is that we're not gonna win playing bad. I ain't gonna participate game either. I'd rather try and fail than not try and keep playing.
Well, let me ask you guys this: at what point do we stop trying and we start building our own party? Instead of relying on this two-party system.
That was the point that I was going to make.
I've been quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I've been quiet for a long time. What I would say about that is that's what got me excited about Bernie. So what I admire about the Trump campaign is that those people that America disregarded, he was able to get those people on his train and bulldoze the Republican Party, basically, right? So if we had somebody like him, regardless of who he is as a person, his personality, everything that he is, if it was somebody out there that would fight for the black community, we would be out there with MAGA hats too. You feel what I'm saying? And I personally think that's what needs to happen. And and for me, it's not about any particular party. It's who out there talking that talk. And the only person that I've seen in my lifetime that reached that height of it potentially happened was Bernie Sanders. That's it. Nobody else is talking that talk. And then when you research him and you look at his voting record, you look at he was always on the right side for us. It's not necessarily us, but equality and all across the board.
Well, not with the crime bill though. Not with the crime bill.
I mean,
but the thing about that crime bill, but listen, but the thing about that crime bill. Go ahead, Grable. I'm sorry.
No. I'm just saying it's all, everybody ain't gonna vote perfect, but when you talk about batting average, you look at batting average or his jump shot, his percentage on our side, he was good with me on that. Yeah. And what happens is you watch the DNC every time shut that down, and a lot of these people, and it's us, black people, say, well, he ain't no Democrat. If he's an independent, then he just needs to be an independent. Well, if you pay attention to how campaigns are run, some people can't vote for you if they're not registered as an independent in their state during the primary, because that's how the DNC and the RNC has got it set up. So the best man can't win in the primary unless you switch parties. So
now hold on. Before you continue with that, let's go back to how many people actually participate in the primaries to vote, right? So this goes back to people only like Bernie should have been
and all of that.
Bernie should have been the candidate right now, but people don't pay attention to voting for that.
No, the DNC changed the rules on how they caucus, bro. The people would show up for Bernie and they would ignore them. Completely disregarding some technicality. I'm telling you, bro.
Let me say something on that right quick. Here's the thing about Bernie. I'm glad that you brought up, as far as another political party, because I feel that's what's needed. I think part of the problem is we stay looking for somebody else to take care of our issues when we are very capable of building our own political party. I don't agree with everything that Bernie Sanders has said, but I think his track record is like you said, going back, most of his track record is decent. But here's my problem with Bernie, and I'm just a black and white type of person when it comes to this kind of stuff. 2 election cycles, he let the Democratic Party steal the candidacy away from him. My thing is, if you're not gonna fight your own party, how are you gonna fight for us? You see what I'm saying? Like he has a lot of people behind him. So if he had to go separate from the Democratic Party, I would have respected that. But the fact that he lets them take the vote away from, take the candidacy away from him, and then he goes along with it, you can't fight with me if you can't fight your own party, bro. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel.
Okay. And see, me, I disagree with that. So I think what Bernie had to do, Bernie had to make a calculated decision. Okay, so it's either, and it goes back to the lesser of 2 evils. And I hate when people say, well, I'm not with it. I can't vote for the lesser of 2 evils. Bro, listen, we deal with the lesser of 2 evils every single day. We will go to a job that we don't like. We have a manager that we don't like. Now, listen, I want to slap him, but I can't because I'll be unemployed and then I can't eat. So the lesser of 2 evils is to go to work and just put up with his shit. That's a lesser of 2 evils. If there's a chick and she's bad, but she's a gold digger, she's trash. But this girl, it's a little heavier, but she's sweet and she takes care of you. You just pick the lesser of 2 evils. We do this every day.
Nah, bro, it's not the same because it's not the same. Look, there's not 2 jobs because there's not 2 jobs. It's not 2 jobs and it's not 2 women on earth, bro. So you could if those 2 women ain't with it, you got another about 100 million in the United States alone.
No. We're talking about viable women. See, so let's say Bernie.
Bro, it's more than two though. It's more than 2.
Listen. Okay, listen. Let's say Bernie said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take away. I'm gonna take away like my people. I'm gonna run with my people. And now it's stuck between 2 people, Trump and Hillary, and you decide who lines up more with the ideas that I have and who doesn't. In this situation, Hillary does. So I'm gonna put my people behind her and see if I can work with her. Because I know for a fact if I take all my people away, she loses. She loses big. She loses bigger than what she did.
But that's an illusion.
So again, you have to pick.
Bernie was supposed to walk away with the whole progressive movement and making a speech and say, listen, let them have this election cycle. If they don't have a progressive agenda fully, then we coming back in 2024.
Exactly. Look what he did.
That's what he should have did.
Look what he did after he lost.
He said that for 2020 because they did the same.
Yeah.
They did for
Right. That's what he should have did.
So this time around, he should have went on his own platform.
Look what he did after he lost.
Yep.
He immediately endorsed Biden. It made no sense.
Because he saw what happened when he didn't immediately endorse Hillary. He saw what happened. So they still blame him for that. Like Hillary still blames him for that.
Listen, guys. When you register in certain states, where you put in your voter registration, you put independent, you put Democrat, or you put Republican. And when you running in these primaries in some of these states, the independent vote is not on a ballot in the primary. You understand? That's why when you see all these different candidates on a presidential ballot, you be like, how do these people get on the ballot? They met a threshold, but they can't get on a debate stage. They can't do all these things because the way the rules are set. So it's not that Bernie allowed it to happen. Bernie is playing by the rules with the cards that's dealt to him. So you got to understand, he has to make that announcement now or 2016 and say, listen, everybody that's voting for me in the Democratic Party, we're changing parties. We go in here, change your voter registration card to X. You understand? Take Democrat off of your ballot because off of your voter registration because they can't vote for you. You can't be a Democrat and vote in the Republican primary.
Yeah,
you understand? You can't be an independent and vote in the independent primary. So with that, he has more leverage if he infiltrates the Democratic Party, just like Donald Trump when he infiltrated the Republican Party.
Exactly.
That was the game plan. Because it's sent the numbers and excitement.
You don't think that you don't think he infiltrated the Democratic Party already?
He didn't do it enough because the way they set the rules. See, you got to look at the primary. Everything changed after North Carolina, South Carolina voted, and they hung it on the black vote in those places. So they making it seem like North and South Carolina represent the whole black vote in the country. That's how they ran the primary. Not Atlanta represents the black community more than North and South Carolina. Maybe the religious community, North and South Carolina, might, have some leverage in that. But as far as the actual diversity of our community, if you say, we're going to look at the Georgia primary, and whoever wins the Georgia primary, that's who wins the black vote. What they tell you is whoever wins the North Carolina, South Carolina black vote, that's who the party should go with. So what happens is they go see these pastors. I'm talking campaigning. They go see the pastors. They go stand in the church. You got people that are older than us, that are from a totally different generation, that are used to voting Democratic one way. That's what they run with. That's why you got Biden. And then as the rest of the states follow suit and they fall like dominoes. That's how Bernie lost, because of the way the DNC and the primaries are set up. And you could say all you want, well, he should have just got more votes. That's not what it is. If you look at the Electoral College, Bernie will run the floor with Donald Trump in the actual presidential election, but they don't remember that in the primary. He's playing with the cards that's dealt to him. It has nothing to do with what he should do and what he shouldn't do. I think he should have stepped away from the party and got everybody ready for this. And now he's out the picture. He should have a successor. He should walk away with his successor and say, the Progressive Party, we leaving the Democratic Party, and we going here in 2024. This is how we move it.
No, I like that idea. I'm not gonna lie. I wish somebody like Abel would do that.
What you're saying is accurate, but here's the thing that happened with Bernie. You're right that if you're not a registered Democrat in some places, you can't vote in their primary. That's 100% accurate. But I think what happened with Bernie was that when he was getting, you got to remember, the delegates in the Democratic Party, the super delegates as they call them, can pick whoever they want. So when Bernie was winning, they still gave their vote to who they wanted to be the candidate and not Bernie. That's where the issue came. That's what I mean by, Bernie getting screwed by them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's not necessarily what he could do or what he could do. It's more so he showed the power of the progressive movement. He showed it in 2 election cycles and how strong he was. He just needs to remove it from the Democratic Party.
So let me ask you guys a question, because that's an interesting thing right there. So I think that what Bernie should do is he should make a statement and say, hey, look, this time we're going to hold everyone accountable, because you can't just wake up tomorrow and say we're going to change, and you got to change whether you're Democrat or independent. You can't wake up and do that. You got to build people up to that. I think that this is the time for him to say, or at least when the new president come in, look, we're going to be paying close attention as to what's going down, because the Democrats or the Republicans isn't doing anything for us. We need more of a progressive party, because let's be honest, Democrats aren't progressive enough. They haven't been in years, decades.
They're not.
Republicans are progressive on conservative ideas, right? Ideologies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we, Bernie, just make a statement saying, hey, we're going to hold both parties accountable, and if they don't do the right thing, we're going to remove our votes from them, because you got some people, let's be honest, you got some people who some black people that's going to vote for Trump that didn't want to vote for what's his name, Biden. Bernie didn't make it. That upsetted a lot of people. They like, yo, I'm gonna go deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just go to Trump, right? So it's all messed up right now. It's all messed up right now. Now, my thing, to go off the topic just a little bit, was I wasn't mad when Trump was running and what he was saying, and they were saying that he's racist, because I looked at it as a wake-up call for people of color, because we've been comfortable for way too long. The reason we gotta thank Trump right now for making us disinterested in politics. We wasn't this interested in politics or paying attention to both sides really that much, probably ever. Like you said, Ronnie, this is the time that our issues is being heard. And it's because Trump is in office. Because I believe that if Hillary would have won against Trump back then,
it would have been the status quo.
It would have been a status quo, and we would have been continued to be rocked to sleep. Right? So
let me tell you something. That's the reason why I said, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's your time.
No, I was like, that's why last time I didn't vote. I didn't vote because I said, well, one, to be honest with you, I didn't think Trump had a chance. I didn't know that 43% of the country was retarded. I didn't know that. but
you really had to sleep, bro. I knew he was.
Hey, bro, let me tell you something. I had no. Listen. I said to myself, there's no way, like, if they are watching what I'm watching, that a man who has had, all the bankruptcy issues that he's had, and just everything the Republican Party says they stand for, as far as like, they were the party of morals and all this. They not gonna, like, he's everything they thought a black president would be. A dude, that cheated on his wife and got a bunch of baby mamas. They thought that's what they thought a black president was gonna be. So I didn't think he was gonna win. I just really didn't, and I couldn't stand Hillary. Like, to me, she is the poster child of what's wrong with the Democratic Party. So once Bernie was out of it, I ain't gonna lie, my mind really was out of it, because I felt like, you know what, here we go again, another 4 years of just the status quo, because Hillary really, in my opinion, just really wasn't gonna change nothing. But
you're not
when
who's gonna win?
Yeah, let me hear that,
I
Smarts.
figured out he was going to win. My bad. I figured out he was going to win when Bernie Sanders said, and that when they was trying to kick him out of the primary, he said in the Electoral College, in those swing states where the votes are going to matter, I beat Hillary Clinton handily in those districts. If you guys elect her as your candidate, she is going to lose to Donald Trump in those districts because she's not visiting those people. And when the DNC gave her that the nomination, it was over from then. From that moment, it was over.
I mean, and
not to mention, because a lot of times in situations like that, when your candidate or the guy that you're pushing, you know what I'm saying, doesn't win, you at least feel like, okay, you know what? If you feel like it was fair and square, you ain't tripping. But also the fact that we kind of felt like Bernie got screwed. Oh, I really wasn't going to vote for Hillary when I felt like Bernie was screwed. And also, low-key, and I probably wouldn't tell none of my friends this, I kind of wanted to see Trump win. I kind of wanted to see him win because I felt like, you know what? The country needs to spiral into chaos. Sometimes you need a little chaos to wake people up. Like, so now y'all see. So now y'all see what y'all little experiment is. And you see what happens when you put a reality show star and put him in the highest office in the land? Now we on Survivor. But you see? You see what happened?
I mean, listen, I share those sentiments.
I don't think.
Go ahead, Dre.
I don't think they have enough.
Think that 40. I would just say I don't think 43% of the people in this country is retarded. I think 43% of the people in this country voted with the person that they feel best going to get their agenda done.
I agree.
And I think that, like my brother said earlier, the fact that they didn't like candidates from either party and they decided to go with the outsider and Trump, I think we can learn from that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's the point that I'm making is that, we got to stop the status quo. You know what I'm saying? Stop being persuaded to vote for one party. If we don't like either party, then create another party or create a movement that our voices will be heard. So that's the way I look at that.
Now, and you know what? And while I agree with that, the only problem I have with that kind of talk right now is that we need to focus on the guy that's in there right now. We got to get this guy out. Like, it has to be some sense of normal. Like, listen, when the man is on tape saying, I knew there was a pandemic that was stronger than the flu, and it was 10 times worse than the flu, and I just didn't want to tell people, bro, that guy has to go, bro. Like, I don't care what his ideas are for the next 4 years.
Listen, bro.
Let me just. I'm gonna say this real quick.
Hold on. Let's pass it.
I'm gonna say this real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Check this out. All right. The people that say that Trump gotta go, just remember this. We had 3.5 years to come up with a good candidate, and they came up with Biden. Okay? 3.5 years of complaining, posting, and saying everything they wanted to say online about Trump, and you came up with Biden. Think about that.
Wait, Ronnie.
Are you suggesting that Trump is better than Biden?
No, he ain't say that.
I don't like Biden. Listen.
He ain't say that.
I'm not blaming Biden.
What I'm saying is, when you talk about the lesser of two evils argument, that should have been in the equation 3.5 years ago when you was preparing a candidate to run against Trump.
Well, Biden is a better candidate than Trump. He's just not my candidate. Listen. He's not my favorite candidate. He's better than Trump.
Well, look, Ronnie.
Listen. Andrew Yang is better than Trump.
Listen, Ronnie, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what the difference is, because you mentioned something earlier. You said that 43% of the country is idiots. I'm gonna tell you what Trump did that no other presidential candidate probably did ever. He spoke to his base. Every other presidential candidate never spoke to their base. If Obama would have came and said, I'm going to do this for black people, he would have been the greatest president ever to us. He didn't do that. Trump came in. Trump said, I'm not playing politics. I'm going to speak to my base. Look, I never seen a president ever empower people ever. Obama didn't even empower people of color the way Trump empowering these racists.
I disagree, bro. I disagree.
Not at all, because Obama spent the whole time trying to be the president of everybody and show that he wasn't just the black president.
But that's the reason why Trump is going to lose. That's the reason why Trump is going to lose this time. Because at first, we didn't really take it serious. We didn't take it serious.
Let me tell you something, bro.
Early voting has broken the record. Hey, listen. There has been record early voting.
Listen, this is not a joke. Donald Trump signed an executive order to ban Muslims from traveling to this country, and people loved it. Yeah. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say it one more time. Donald Trump signed an executive order to ban Muslims to come into this country, and people loved it.
His base.
People or his base?
His base.
People or his base? People didn't love it because he get protested.
Listen to you got to listen to me what I'm saying to you. Barack Obama didn't do nothing like that for us, bro.
Why he didn't, bro? Listen. Why do you think this man, bro? Why do you think this man?
Come on. I'm going to interrupt you one more time. I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to let you go.
Go ahead.
He never signed an executive order for the black community and let the legislative branch and Congress fight it out. He never did that.
No, that's what, you know what? Man, I went with my phone, bro. You know, let me tell you something. I literally, listen. I literally just had this argument the other day because somebody had the nerve to say Obama didn't do nothing for black people, and I literally posted every single executive order.
That's not what I said.
Executive order, what you just said, executive order for black people.
No. Specifically.
Yeah, bro, listen, I'm a black veteran. There's literally an executive order he wrote to make sure that I'm getting my money.
That's what you can come up with?
Bro, listen. Black veterans, black farmers.
Bro. Wait, what about me, bro?
Well, bro, listen, they gave out grants. I don't know if you want to go to school. Did you want to go to school? Because they were grants. They had $5,000 grants out here for people to go to school. Some people went to school, some people didn't.
All right.
Man, I'm really bad though. Like, listen, it's more than that. It's more than that.
An executive order to ban Muslims from coming in this country. That's the best you got.
And that's the reason why he will lose this election. This is the reason why that even people that are in the middle is like, yo, I can't do this. I can't. I wanted something different. I didn't want Hillary. This dude is banning Muslims. This dude is talking about caravans on the Mexican border. Bro, I can't do it. Even middle ground Republicans.
Hey, yo, Herc.
Even middle ground like, yo, I can't do this.
Ronnie, listen. Yeah. You know what he did during that whole time? He incited his base more. More of his base is going to come out. He built that wall. He's banning people. He's getting people involved who normally wouldn't be involved. I personally think that he's going to blow Biden out the water this election. I think worse than Hillary.
Bro,
I agree.
Bro, listen. I would take any of y'all wager on that. Like, I would take any of y'all wager on that. Let me tell you something. Trump snuck up on us last time because we didn't see what happened. And also, Hillary was a historically unliked person. Like the whole Clinton dynasty was just unliked. Let me tell you something. This time, people will vote for a couch before they vote for Donald Trump. Like, listen, these numbers are different. These poll numbers are different this time. This is not like,
bro.
The poll numbers.
This is what you gotta understand. This is what you gotta.
Not like that, bro.
The people that's gonna vote for Trump are gonna go out and vote for him, guaranteed.
Right.
You have a split in the Democratic Party. You have the independent Bernie Sanders wing, and then you have the so-called establishment. Now we talking about amongst our community. If you talk about the bigger picture, there are a lot of independents and Bernie supporters who's not going to vote for Biden because they don't like the way things happen to Bernie.
I don't believe that.
So when you now here's the thing. In order for Joe Biden, first off, I don't believe polls because they said this time 2016 Trump was supposed to be down by like 16 points and he won the presidency.
There you go.
So that shows you how accurate polls are. But here we go. In order for Biden to win, he's going to have Obama-like turnout, and he will not get that.
I agree.
Guaranteed.
And I disagree. Listen. Look at the numbers right now. Look at the numbers. Listen. I mean, listen. They're going to another poll. They're going to poll too. I don't believe. So listen. Look at the numbers right now. Look at the early numbers right now. The early numbers right now are saying that, listen, you fooled us one time. You slept up on us last time because we really didn't take you serious. Oh, they taking it serious now. Because now we see, they would really vote this dude in.
Bruh,
they would really vote this dude in.
You gotta pay attention to the psychology of this. Remember, a lot of this war is fought mentally. You are very smart. You've been smart ever since I known you for over a decade, Ronnie. For well over a decade, I know you've been very smart. You know why they say that Bernie is ahead in the polls? Because for some reason, that's going to relax people. That's going to make people, he got it. He don't need my vote. But if you say Bernie is that, what they doing is exciting Trump people. Yo, Trump is losing. We got to go out there. We got to go out there and vote. We got to go do this. It's all a mechanism, bro.
Bro, I have to see what y'all seeing. Bro, I just literally saw a post today. I saw a post today that kind of made me nervous. It was a Kamala Harris page, and basically was saying like, hey, listen, we can still lose this. So no, bro, there is no coaching on this. Like, I know what the polls are saying, but the particular candidates are still keeping the pressure like, hey, listen, let's not keep, listen, we don't need to keep a field goal. We need to score. We need to score. We need a touchdown. So I think last time we felt like, we sit back, play prevent defense. You know what I'm saying? This dude's not going to win. You're not going to sneak up on us again, bro. We know now that these people are rabid about you. We know that. And even though my particular candidate is not in there, I got to get you out, though. I'm not even doing for Biden. I'm going to get Trump. There's the voter out there like me who, you know what? Biden ain't a sexy bitch. I'm not really that big on Kamala. But guess what, though? Trump got to go.
No,
and there's a segment.
So let me ask you this. So let me ask you this. Are you in a swing state?
I'm in Texas, and we purple. We purple. We used to be deep red. We purple out here. We purple as hell.
All right.
Listen. Ted Cruz almost lost.
Wait, one at a time.
Biden might win Texas.
You say what now?
Said Biden what?
You say Biden might win Texas? I don't know, but guess what? I didn't think.
I'm laughing because what I'm saying is you talk about the Electoral College. How many points Texas got in the Electoral College?
I'm not sure why.
Because I hear what you're saying, but it's a whole 50 states that got to get out here and vote. So, and it's the Electoral College. And when you start going to them local, them small districts, this dude, you can go on CNN or whatever channel you want and watch a tickler of deaths going up every 5 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still screaming they want this dude to be president again, bro. It's
Dude,
not
overwhelming.
Hold on. Listen. It's not an overwhelming outpour of people getting him to remove from office, and more people died than I believe in the Civil War or something like that. Like whatever.
Whoa. You don't see the outpour? I see the outpour. I see it all the time.
I see the No, listen. This is what I'm telling you. I see the outpour of Democrats. I don't see an outpouring of Republicans. Staunch Republican people saying, "Yo, we need another Republican presidential candidate."
Bro, have you ever heard of Bro, have you ever heard of a little group called the Lincoln Project? Have you ever heard of a little group called the Lincoln Project?
Yes.
Listen, bro, the Lincoln Project is literally some of the best Republican minds. Like, these are people who were behind George Bush. These are conservatives. These ain't no middle ground Republicans. Bro, they had a group, bro.
I'm asking, did anybody primary against Donald Trump?
No, of course not. It's not. They got watched. They know that.
Okay.
What does that mean, bro? What does that mean? Like,
you know what that means is that his base, he has the support of his base.
Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, when you talk about the polls, you got to understand that at the end of the day, the people that they poll may be more boisterous than the people that don't say nothing at all. Because here's the reality.
Exactly.
People who support Trump ain't always inclined to come out and tell people they support Trump because they don't want to be labeled a racist.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about that.
Or a coon.
Listen. Maybe Trump base got y'all shook, but Trump base don't have me shook. When I look at what I'm seeing is that Trump ain't gained no new voters. Now last time there were even a lot of Obama voters.
Bro, hold up, Ronnie. Hold up.
Bro, I
Trump
respect your passion. I respect your passion, but your passion and your emotions, it means nothing when it comes to that vote. I agree with Jamal what he said. Yo, Trump will win again. I'm telling you.
I can't wait. I can't wait after the election. Listen. I want the same energy, bro. I want this.
You know what we gonna do? When is the election? Like 20 days away, something like that? When is it? Like 20 days?
November 4th.
November 4th? All right, like 15 days, something like that. Look, we're gonna do, all three of us, all four of us, we're gonna do this again.
Yeah.
Right? The day after the election, whenever they we're gonna do this again. But yo, how you gonna say that he got no new voters? He just endorsed the Proud Boys. They're about 10 million. They're about 10 million deep. Hold up, Hurt. Before you say something, because I gotta say this. He publicly endorsed the Proud Boys. I don't know what the police departments look like down there, but the Fraternal Order of Police, NYPD, who never endorsed the president, publicly endorsing presidents, bro. He got new. Look, he don't only have new voters, he has new energized voters. Energized. Yo, Biden, when people say that they'll vote for an ant to go against Trump, Biden is really an ant. And when you look at Biden history, because he can't speak well, this whole dementia thing, I thought it was a joke. I think that is serious now.
Wait, Trump speaks well? Wait. Trump speaks well?
Hold up. Yes, Trump speaks well.
I got so much to say, boy.
Trump speaks well to his base. You don't need a crazy vocabulary to speak to his base. Only thing you got to do to speak to his base is preach some type of hate. We want to keep Mexicans out.
Listen, bro. Listen, man. The part that I think that you mentioned, bro, is that just like you say that Trump doesn't need to speak well or be articulate or even be a good person because his base is going to vote regardless. The new voters on this side, so you already got the established Democrats already. The established Democrats who already overwhelmingly, voted for Hillary. It was just, it was a popular vote, so it don't really matter. But now you got these new voters who sat out last time, all right? They sat out. They didn't like Hillary. They sat out. But now, they're not voting for Biden. They're not voting for Harris. They voting against Trump. And those are the new voters that are coming out who like, you know what? I don't really like that dude. And last time I sat out because I ain't like Hillary. But now I see with 3-4 years of Trump life, that guy got to go.
Brother,
and I don't know what y'all watching, but I cannot wait to come back after this election, bro. I can't wait.
Bro, the new voters ain't voting. That's the thing. Look. Listen. I'm telling you. Listen, bro. It's all talk. I guarantee you, they probably not even registered to vote, man. People talk. Listen. People talk.
Hold on, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Guys, Smarts.
Why do you think you see that? Why do you see that register to vote? What's going on with your local ballot box all over your Instagram?
That's what they do. What you mean? Really, bro? Really? Bro, it's like that happens when McDonald's bust commercial. Or they go out of business? Like, what do you mean? Like, obviously, obviously you want to net it home. Like, what you mean? Like, of course.
Let me talk, please, bro. Let me talk. I love your passion, bro. I love your passion, bro. I'm telling you this because people ain't registering to vote, bro.
Facts.
People online talking crazy and not pushing that button on their homepage to actually register.
Wow.
Listen,
bro.
Listen, Ronnie.
They're doing a lot, bro. They're on the line in Georgia. They're on the line in Georgia. People ain't turning on the vote, bro.
Bro,
They're lying.
let it be bad weather on election day. See how many people don't go out to vote.
Bro, okay. You know what? See, again, I don't know what y'all watching. But I just seen in different cities where people were waiting. Let me talk.
I want to hear. Go ahead.
Look. I've been watching reports where people are literally waiting in line for 7 hours. They are interviewing people like, why are you waiting for 7 hours? They said, because I want to make sure my vote counts. I don't even want to know this.
Bro,
they're not even taking a chance.
And listen, bro, and those are the people that been voting.
Exactly. Yo, Ronnie, when you look at that,
So ain't no new voters out there, honey. They have to put their kids and everything, huh?
No,
Ain't no new voters, man.
Ronnie, when you look at those lines, it's mostly old people. Those old people vote.
No, it's not. No, it's not, bro. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not.
Hey, listen.
When they show
I'm gonna have to show y'all. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find these reports. I'm gonna let y'all see it. But even then, when I show you, you probably come up with another situation. Either way, bro.
No, listen, bro. I'm so open wide. My eyes are so wide open, and I'm so open-minded about this. I can tell you, I'm not saying that I'm a Trump supporter. We all know that I'm not, but I do have enough sense to know that we are in the middle of a pandemic and he's on TV telling people he's good. And there's nobody in his party saying, get this guy up out of here. You know why the people is not telling him to get up out of here? Because their constituent is saying, we need him for a second term.
No, okay. Now let me tell you why. Now let me tell you why. Let me tell you why his constituents are not saying nothing. Because if they do, he has the biggest bully pulpit in the world right now, and they will get primaries. Anybody who has stepped out and said anything against Trump in the Republican Party has been pushed out of the Republican Party. It is not good business if you are a Republican to speak out against Trump, because what they're looking at is
you just made my whole point.
In the Republican Party, bro. In the Republican Party.
My whole point, bro.
What, he's popular?
His base is going to come out,
exactly,
and they're going to definitely vote. And it's kind of empty with the Democratic side.
Exactly. Cause we,
you made my whole point.
Ronnie, you putting a lot of faith. You putting a lot of faith in our people, man. Listen, in New York, the tri-state area over here.
No, not our people. Not our people. Listen. You know what? I hate and how can I say this? I have a lot of faith in our people. I hate to say this, but liberal white folks, like, I have no faith in them because they do give it. They will get out there. They will get out there and vote. Like they don't like this dude. They don't like this dude. They gonna get out there. They gonna bring their newly 18-year-old kids. They out there, bro.
Are they registered to vote? Are they registered to vote?
They in line. What are you talking about? They voting, bro. Listen, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what y'all watching, bro. Like I watch MSNBC, Fox, CNN. I watch this all day. And I'm watching.
I got one more thing to say. Let me just say this.
Nobody reads the paper no more, bro. Nobody reads the paper no more.
Let me just say this. let me just make this.
That's where it's at. The papers is
We have.
Oh, wait, hold on. Go ahead,
We
Drake.
have recent history. We have recent history to tell you that your point is there's no point. You can look back to 2016. Did our people or Democrats come out in the same droves to vote for Hillary that they voted for Obama? No. That's why Trump.
But what is that?
And that's why he'll be.
But there's a reason. Okay, so now let me tell you why. Because at the end of the election, she didn't go to Michigan. She didn't go to Michigan. She didn't go to Wisconsin. Here's what she thought. She thought that since Obama won those states, okay, those states would have turned blue. Because Obama won. But you're not Obama. You're not well like Obama. You're Hillary Clinton. They have you on tape talking about super predators. Like they did a very masterful job of having people like, I ain't vote for her. It worked for me.
Bro, they doing a better job than Biden. Yeah.
But they can't be. Bro, they can't lock down Biden like they locking down Hillary. All they did on Biden is, okay, 90 crime bill. That's what they saying now all the stuff. Let me tell you something. If the Trump campaign was so confident, he wouldn't be talking about mail fraud. He wouldn't have somebody out here picking up mailboxes. He wouldn't be out here talking about Hunter Biden's son. They nervous. They see the numbers. You see last year. See, y'all be in the past. See, but he see it. That's why they trying to pull out all the shots. That's the reason why.
That's called being a smart politician. That's what that's called. Being a
no, that's nervous. That's a desperate politician. Hey, that's a desperate politician.
That's what he's supposed to do.
He knows. Hey, listen. He knows he's losing. This man say, I don't even know if I'm gonna leave. Bro, you know you're losing. You know you're losing. You say, well, shit, I mean, I'm just saying. Like, this man is ready to throw the controller down before he loses. He knows it. He knows he's gonna lose. Y'all the one that's like, listen, and maybe because y'all from out there, y'all from New York, so maybe Trump has this mystique over y'all. He don't have that mystique over us.
Trump, no.
He's a grifter.
No, out here.
Tramel, talk to him, bro. Talk to him, bro.
Out here, we don't like Trump out here, right? But we got to deal with reality right now, right? Look what's going on. It's census time right now. Every politician is begging for the census. From what I understand, people is not even handing in their census or reporting to the census. That is an indication to me that people is not going to vote. I guarantee you in the states where Trump have support, those census papers is in. But where we at?
Yeah, but then we go back. But then we go back to that source. Where you at, right? So where you at? But guess what? Trump ain't winning New York.
He's not gonna win. But let me ask you this.
So we get back to that whole thing, right? You know what I'm saying? New York is blue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you this.
Now out here,
and listen. If New York is diverse enough, but New York is diverse enough for us to actually see what Trump supporters, how they act and how they look and how we interact with them and how we work with them, even though the state is going to go blue, we diverse enough here to see it, to watch it play out.
Yeah.
So y'all don't think we watching it out here? Like y'all think like
no, that's not what I'm saying. You're trying to say that Donald Trump has a certain mystique over us. No, we see it just like you see it. Even though the state is going blue, we got Trump supporters here, and we talk to them today. We blue in the face, and they don't care what we talking about.
Yep,
yeah,
you just made a point without.
But that's the difference between. Go ahead.
Hold on, one at a time.
Listen, he just made a perfect point. New York is a perfect example. Us in New York know that New York goes blue because of New York City. Most of the population is in New York City. But if you go up and into New York, they're conservative.
There you go.
And that's the way the country is. You have the populous states and cities that's going to go blue. But the areas where, my guy was talking about earlier in the rural areas, they're going to vote for Trump, and they're definitely going to vote. Definitely.
Facts.
And guess what? And
no.
Yeah, Ronnie.
You know what? I would put my money on it that 8 years ago, y'all probably said this. I bet y'all was saying they ain't gonna put no nigga in the White House. I guarantee y'all saying.
We was up here. We was behind that 1,000%. But the difference, the dynamics has changed. The dynamics change. We got a president that's talking to his base. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Unapologetically.
But I think y'all are over.
And then put pen to paper when he got elected.
Hey, guess what? So what that means is that he made his base happy, right? But guess what? He didn't bring in any new people. Like, there's not nobody sat here and just watch Trump and saying, like, you know what? I was on the fence at first, but I love what he's doing. No, the people who love him regardless, they gonna go him regardless. It don't matter. He gonna rape a baby on TV. They gonna vote for that dude.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you.
Real quick. But they showed that in the swing states like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, those swing states that Obama won, that those voters either voted for Trump, this election against Hillary, or they just didn't come out to vote at all. What I'm telling y'all is that now that we've seen what 3.5 years of Trump looks like, people who did not vote last time are saying, nah, I'm going to go ahead and vote this time. That's why I'm saying that you're going to get. That's why I'm saying you're going to get the numbers. Not because Biden is such a great candidate. It's because Trump is such a bad candidate.
But I'm going to tell you this. That's an opinion, right? And I may agree with it. I may not. I think that Trump get even more. I think Trump pick up more black supporters this election. I'm going to go on a limb and say that.
I disagree. Listen. I disagree. I disagree because, again, and I understand y'all are on the ground out there, and I'm on the ground out here. But his latest antics, they galvanized black people down here. Like I'm talking about, man. It's crazy down here. People who I thought didn't even care about this. Listen, I know 2 people who didn't even vote for Obama, though. They didn't even vote for Obama. But when they look at these Trump rallies, and they see the same people who are out here with the favorite flags voting for this man. Listen, I'm not saying every Trump supporter is racist, but it seems like every racist is a Trump supporter.
Facts.
So now it feels personal. It feels personal now. So like I'm seeing dudes who I didn't even see these dudes go for Obama. And maybe because they were a little younger at the time, they older now. But I remember these dudes, they didn't even vote for Obama because he was light-skinned. But they gonna vote for Biden because they like, bro, is this dude out here really pumping up the Powerball? Like is he it's almost like a challenge. It's like I see white people online saying that if Trump lose, it might be a civil war. And I'm seeing brothers down here in Texas like, terror is accepted, bro. Like, y'all lost the war when we didn't even have guns. But we got things now. So, like, it's almost like a personal thing. Like, okay, did you want to make it black versus white? Bet.
Let me ask you a question,
Ronnie. That's the energy I'm seeing down here.
Let me ask you a question, Ronnie, because I ain't get a chance to ask you yet.
This what you got to
Dre, let me ask him this question real quick. Do you think that Biden is a better candidate than Hillary was?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
No. I think he's a worse candidate than Hillary was.
I disagree. I disagree. Now, the reason why I think he's a better candidate than Hillary, one, he did a nice little nod and wink to the black community by picking Kamala. Like, it was always one of those things where it's like, okay, a black president made me the vice president. So if I'm president, I'm going to have to show my love because South Carolina and black folks in South Carolina, they saved my ass. I could not pick Elizabeth Warren. I personally want Elizabeth Warren because, again, she on that progressive shit.
But bro, we got to remember, Hillary Clinton her husband was considered the first black president. More people love Bill Clinton than Barack Obama.
Bro, that's TV. Bro, that's TV. But like nobody thinks about. Like, I don't know where that shit. Like, this man get off sitting on how to play a saxophone, and people think that like, bro, that's somebody said that in the media, and real niggas ain't out here talking. That's the first nigga. Like, we ain't, listen, that we don't think he should have been impeached for getting his dick sucked, but like at the same time though, like, it ain't no Clinton worship out here, bro. Like, you know, like, it ain't like that, bro. Like, we don't, like we ain't rocking with that dude like that, you know what I'm saying? We probably felt like he should have got impeached, but.
Bro, they was rocking with Clinton.
But like, no, they were rocking with him. I mean, I would too, everybody should have rocked with him. He let the country with him. They should rock with him.
This is why Biden is a worse candidate.
Okay.
He's the worst candidate because one, you know, again, I go back to what I said about the 3.5 years to come up with a good candidate against Trump. We're in the age of talking about social justice reform. This is the author of the crime bill that mass incarcerated a lot of our people. A lot of our people, they forget that and they got short-term memory. You know what I'm saying? And because it affected a lot of families. It pretty much crippled a whole generation of our people. And there's people that forget that. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, you're talking about a candidate who cognitively, he's just not there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that.
Bro, calm down, bro. Let me finish my point. He's clearly not there cognitively. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. You talk about picking Kamala. Let me tell you something. My mother lives in California. Black folks in California don't rock with Kamala because they know her record as the Attorney General of California with locking up black males. Okay, so don't use her because she's a person of color. Like, automatically everybody's going to vote for her. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not.
So he's a more flawed candidate than Hillary was. Hillary knows how to maneuver. He had experience. I mean, Joe Biden has experience, but right now he doesn't have the cognitive ability to be a good candidate.
Okay. So here's my rebuttal to that. I keep hearing about this whole cognitive disability that he has. But did you watch the town hall last night?
Yeah, I seen it.
I'm sure
he said he was running. Bro, the other day he said he was running for Senate. What more proof do you need that this dude is
Trump, bro. Trump the other day couldn't even pronounce. What are you talking about, bro?
Yo, Ronnie. Let me tell you something. My grandmother, she got Alzheimer's. She has good days and bad days, bro. So just because he had a good day at the at the town hall for an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
that's what he means.
So let me get this straight here.
No, me personally, I think he got cognitively. I don't think he's gone. I don't think he got dementia and all that. But I'm just saying, you can't. I mean, people want to have that argument. You know what I'm saying? And
they're gonna have that argument. You know why? You know why they gonna have that argument? Because one thing I cannot take away from that dude. That dude definitely knows how to hammer home a lot, bro. I keep hearing about this thing, like they keep hammering home. He's a great. He is a great.
Joe Biden knows how to gab. He gabs so much that you can make up a lie. People would go with it.
That's what Trump does. That's what Trump does.
Biden gas. No. Biden gas so much that somebody.
Trump gas too. Hey, this is what I need y'all to do.
No.
I need y'all to go to Trevor Noah. Listen.
What Trump do? No, listen. No. What Trump do is talk out of both sides of his face.
No, man. No, listen. Bro. Listen. I'm not talking about lying.
Probably not.
Bro. I'm not talking about lying or talking about. Hey, listen. I'm not talking about lying or talking outside of your face. I'm talking about straight up looking at a teleprompter and can't read. Like I've literally seen clips of this man talk, looking at a teleprompter and can't pronounce regular words, bro. But for some reason, the media has had a great strategy pointing Joe as like the Sleepy Joe. But for every single gap that you can show me of Joe, listen, because this is where you miss it. Wait, because this is where you miss it. This is where you miss it. For every single gap that you can show me, and I will go gap with you as soon as we get on the phone. Every single gap you can show me of Joe Biden, I can show you two.
I want to say two things about the teleprompter thing. I'm gonna say two things. One thing I'm gonna say about the teleprompter thing is everybody ain't the best reader, but on the snapback, on the clapback, he's sharp, boy. He on his toes. Did I tell you?
He ain't sharp, bro. Man, y'all really gassing it. Dog, this dude is not clever, y'all.
Hold on. It's rumored that R. Kelly can't read at all.
Okay.
Did you say he don't have no cognitive ability?
Nah, he's a great singer, bro. He's a great singer. Listen. He's a hot. And what I'm saying is Trump is a great salesman.
Listen.
But at the end of the day, that don't mean your cognitive ability is better than Joe Biden. You feel what he's saying, bro?
Listen. I love the energy of this call. We gonna be on the phone for 2 hours. We gotta end this, right?
Yeah.
But what I want to say, because I could do this all. I could do this all day. But for some reason, for the first time, I'm running out of minutes, and I got a whole bunch of minutes, but I want to do this again.
Okay.
You three guys, I love. You know, we got. Well, smart. You want to consider Jersey? You Jersey now? Or
I'm Brooklyn though.
Oh, you Brooklyn? All right.
I live in Jersey.
All right.
I play in Brooklyn.
All right.
I'm
But
home base, baby.
I like what we got going on here. Next time we go do a Zoom where we're gonna have everybody on the screen so we can see each other, and we're gonna have this conversation again.
Yeah, that'd be crazy, man. I love it. Listen. I hope it's after the election, bro.
I'm gonna ask y'all. Y'all want to do it after?
I want to see this.
Y'all want to do it after? Y'all want to do it?
I want to see the egg on the face. Yeah.
No, listen, bro. No, hold on.
Y'all gotta see me do my dance, bro. Y'all gotta see me do my dance,
Ronnie, you acting like that we are Trump supporters. What we doing?
No, I'm not.
We being objective.
We're not Trump supporters.
We being objective. That's what we doing. We not just picking a side because the lesser of two evils. We being objective. So we not listen. For me personally,
y'all not giving that.
For me personally, I'm not voting for Trump because he's too much of a businessman for me. He want to get rid of unions. Mm-hmm. That would directly impact my life and my coworkers' life, right? So I can't mess with him for the simple fact of that, right? But that don't mean that I'm gonna vote for Biden either, right? That's what I want to get clear. That's what I want to get clear. But you know, we respect your perspective. Yes, your perspective is needed, and this conversation is needed because these conversations aren't being had within our own communities. Like, or like when someone have a different perspective of us, we tend to shun them out. I think it's important for us to continue to have these conversations, even after who the president is, because now we got to see who's going to keep their word. And
and hold their feet to the fire. Absolutely.
And during this time, we got to educate our communities into not only voting for the president, but also voting for everyone else. So we got to start and build somewhere. And I feel that this was a great way to start. So I salute all you guys for coming on the call. Smarts, Ronnie, aka Herc, aka Hard Bonnie Roddy. If y'all don't know, he's a trainer out there. He been a trainer for about, he came here and said he's 43 years old. He told me that about 13 years ago that he was like 43.
Fuck out of here, bro. 77 was a good year, man. I know I look like a vampire. I know I look like a vampire, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't age, bro. Yeah, I'm 43, bro. I'm 43, man.
And then my brother Andre, I knew Andre, we went to elementary school together. And we end up he end up coming to work for TA also. So, you know, it's good. But I'm happy to connect because all you guys, even with Smarts, I knew Smarts since I was a teenager. So it's good to bring, I consider you guys my friends, my family, together. And I hope that we could grow this. You know, you guys could become friends because that's how I do. Smarts, you know, I introduce people and I let them grow their own relationships. You know, that's what I've been doing my whole life. And even with Ronnie, you know, we met via social media, and we remained friends and kept in contact throughout the years. Way before Instagram, we was on the first Instagram, to be exact. Hip Hop was the first, and we was a close knit community. We traveled across the country with each other. We went to visit each other and things like that. But we got to continue these conversations. So I'm looking forward to continuing these conversations with you guys. Ronnie, I got to send you my personal number. This is the show number. I got to send you my personal number, because I know you're going to be calling me with some shit like, yo, Tremel, I told you this and I told you that. And
you already know. And listen, and fellas, and look, don't mistake my passion. Listen, I'm just from the South. You know what I'm saying? You know, we just kind of talk get hype. So don't mistake my passion for anger, nothing like that. I appreciate you brothers, man. I love the conversation. Listen, hey, to me, iron sharpens iron. You feel me? So, like, you know, I don't want y'all to think that, you know, is any kind of malice or anything, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
I'm here for it.
No doubt.
I'm here for it.
Ronnie is a great dude.
Yo, sometimes tough conversations become passionate, but I think at the end of the day, we all want a common goal. So that's what it all comes down to.
Real talk.
But real talk, man. So, you know, I just, you know, don't disappear after the election. That's all, right?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. Listen, no, sir. Hey, listen. Hey.
Don't do that Homer backing into the bush. That Homer.
Hey, let me tell you something. I promise you. I'm either gonna come in here on that Zoom dancing, or I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna take my L. And I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna take my L, bro. And I'm gonna let y'all take y'all shots. I'm gonna let y'all go in. I'm gonna laugh about it, and it's gonna be all good.
No, but look, once again,
I won't be prepared though.
Once again, we want Biden and we don't want Trump to win, right? But if we it's going to be a collective L that we go take if we don't do the right thing here, you know. And it's going to be.
That's why I'm glad. At the end of the day, we all do the same thing, man. And that's black folks we bet off, man. Period.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
All right, fellas. I'm going to end it off with no. Ice Cube did not sell him.
All right, yeah, I was about to ask that.
I agree. I don't think he sold out either. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Ice Cube sold out. I think the Trump campaign tried to be slick. They tried to be slick, get a leg up on him. But no, I do not think I don't think he sold out. They definitely use him, in my opinion.
They use him.
All right,
fellas, y'all have a good one.
All right,
see you on the next call.
All right, catch y'all later. I'm gonna hit y'all up later.
All
right.
All right,
thanks.
All right.
Man, that was a passionate, heated, at times, but brotherly love conversation. This is a conversation that we need to have more of. I don't think I ever did a live for this long. I'm glad I didn't have to talk for this long because I'm literally out of breath right now. And I'm tired. But thanks for tuning into the show. Look, I need you guys to please donate. You could donate via, you see it on the screen. The Cash App is Progressive Action 100. Donate via Cash App. You could donate via Patreon. That's in the link of the description of the video. And you could also donate to the platform via PayPal. This ate up a whole bunch of my minutes, over 2 hours doing this show. But thanks for tuning